very good morning, children. I am Lakshmi Narayana Gunta, PGT Zoology and NEET Super 60 faculty at Duppalvalsa, Srikakulam. And today we are going to discuss the human male reproductive system. Reproduction is the biological process by which new individual organisms are produced from their parents. New individual organisms, which are called as offsprings, they resemble the parents in many aspects. Reproduction involves the following steps. The gametogenesis. Gametogenesis is the formation of gametes. The formation of gametes is again two types: spermatogenesis and oogenesis. In males, the sperms are produced, which is called as spermatogenesis, whereas in females, eggs are produced, which is called as oogenesis. This formation of gametes is called as gametogenesis. And the next one is insemination. Transfer of sperms, which are produced by the process of gametogenesis, they are transferred to the female genital tract by the process of insemination. This insemination, it may be natural or artificial. Coming to the next step, that is fertilization. The fusion of male and female gametes is called as fertilization. And after fertilization, the zygote is formed. This zygote, after a series of divisions, it is implanted, it is attached to the uterine wall. This attachment is called as implantation. And coming to the next step, gestation. Gestation is the embryonic development. After completion of the embryonic development, the delivery of the baby is called as parturition. And all these events, they occur only after the puberty. These are all the events, those are involved in the process of reproduction: gametogenesis, the formation of gametes; insemination, transfer of sperms and gametes; fertilization, fusion of gametes; implantation, attachment to the uterine wall; gestation, embryonic development; and parturition, delivery of the baby. Go to our main topic, the male reproductive system. The male reproductive system consists of a number of genital organs present in the pelvic region. They are a pair of testes, accessory ducts, accessory glands, and the external genitalia. Let us now discuss all these one by one. A pair of testes. A pair of testes, which are oval pinkish structures present in humans, they are the primary sex organs. It is a testis. This testis, it is located in a sac-like structure called as the scrotum. This scrotum, it is helpful in maintaining the temperature 2 to 2.5 degrees lesser than the body temperature, which is an optimum temperature for the spermatogenesis or the production of sperms. And these testes, generally they are located in the abdominal cavity. By the 9th month of pregnancy, these testes, they descend into the scrotum. They descend into the scrotum through a canal called as inguinal canal. Okay? And each testis is covered by a fibrous envelope called as tunica albuginea. Here you can observe the tunica albuginea. That is tunica albuginea. This tunica albuginea, here and there it protrudes into the testis. This is the testis, a oval pinkish structure. The layer is called as tunica albuginea. This tunica albuginea here and there protrudes into the testis, and thereby the tunica albuginea forms 250 lobes. Here you can observe the lobes. Each lobe has 1 to 3 highly coiled structures are called as seminal tubules. Each seminiferous tubule is lined by germinal epithelium, which is made up of spermatogonial mother cells and Sertoli cells. These spermatogonial mother cells, they are responsible for the production of sperms, whereas Sertoli cells, they nourish the sperm cells. The nerve cells of testis are Sertoli cells. Here you can observe clearly the These are each, this is a lobe, and each lobe, this lobe it contains only one seminiferous tubule, this lobe it contains two seminiferous tubule, and this way each lobe, there are 250 lobes in a testis, and each lobe contains 1 to 3 seminiferous tubules. Sperms are formed from these seminiferous tubules by spermatogonial mother cells. These are spermatogonial mother cells. This is the cross section of a testis, and each circle it indicates a seminiferous tubule, and these are the spermatogonial mother cells. These spermatogonial mother cells, they produce sperms. Sperms are formed by these spermatogonial mother cells by the process of spermatogenesis. Okay. Sertoli cells, they nourish the sperms. These are Sertoli cells, they nourish the sperms. Okay. And in between the seminiferous tubules, there is a space called as Leydig space, interstitial space or Leydig space. This Leydig space contains specialized cells called as Leydig cells or interstitial cells of Leydig. These interstitial cells, they produce androgens. The most important androgen is testosterone. Testosterone, which controls the development of secondary sexual characters in males, like development of beard, powerful breast musculature, low pitch voice. All these are the secondary sexual characters. Let us see how these sperms they are transferred and what is the way of the transportation. The sperms they are produced in the seminiferous tubules, and from there they reach the rete testis, and from there they reach the vasa afferentia. Okay, let us see. This is the exact location of spermatogenesis. These are the highly coiled tubes called as seminiferous tubules. These seminiferous tubules they produce sperms, and from there these all they are called as rete testis. From there through vasa afferentia they reach the epididymis. This is the epididymis. Okay. And from there it reaches the epididymis, and this is the epididymis, and from there a long duct is there which passes through the inguinal canal. This is the inguinal canal, and this duct is called as ductus deferentia or vasa deferentia. This vasa deferentia, after joining the seminal vesicular duct, it forms into an ejaculatory duct. That one is called as ejaculatory duct, and this ejaculatory duct, both the ejaculatory ducts, they unite with the urethra. This urethra which passes through the prostate is called as prostatic urethra. And these two ejaculatory ducts they unite with the urethra, and from there it passes through the urethra. Finally they reach the vagina of the female. Okay. Coming back to the next duct, the urethra. The two ejaculatory ducts join at the center of the prostate and open into urethra. This you can observe. This is urethra, and the two ejaculatory ducts join with this urethra, and from there it comes out as urethra. This is urethra, and this urethra, it is a common duct or a sharing duct both for reproductive system and urinary system. That means the urine and the semen, both of them passes through. Okay. It is 20 centimeters in males, whereas it is 4 centimeters in females. Can you tell me why the urethra is 20 centimeters in males, whereas it is 4 centimeters in females? You can Google it. This urethra, it originates from the neck of the urinary bladder. This is urinary bladder, and it is the neck of the urinary bladder, and extends through the penis. It extends through the penis, and it opens out through an opening called as urethral meatus. we have completed testis and accessory ducts. Now we are moving to accessory glands. There are three accessory glands in human male reproductive system. The first one is the seminal vesicles and the prostate gland, and Cowper's glands are bulbourethral glands. Let us now discuss the seminal vesicles. Seminal vesicles, they are leaf-like structures present on the posterior side of the urinary bladder. A pair of seminal vesicles, they are located posterior to the urinary bladder. Here you can clearly observe these seminal vesicles. Okay, and about 60% of the semen is because of the secretions of these seminal vesicles. 60% of the semen, it constitutes the seminal vesicular fluid. Okay, this seminal vesicular fluid, it is alkaline fluid with fructose, proteins, citric acid, potassium and prostaglandins. These prostaglandins, they make the cervix receptive to the sperms. The opening of the uterus is called as cervix. These prostaglandins, it makes the cervix receptive to sperms. Coming back to the next gland, the prostate gland. Prostate gland, the gland which is present immediately beneath the urinary bladder. Immediately beneath the urinary bladder. This is urinary bladder and this is the prostate gland, which is located just beneath the urinary bladder. And secretions of this prostate glands constitute 15 to 30% of the semen. And it is slightly acidic. Unlike that of seminal vesicular fluid, this prostate gland's fluid is slightly acidic. And it activates the sperms, provides the nutrition to the sperms. Okay, next let us move to the next gland, the Cowper's gland. These Cowper's glands, they are also called as bulbourethral glands. Bulbourethral glands. The Cowper's glands, they are located beneath the prostate gland. This is prostate gland. A pair of small bulb-like structures are called as bulbourethral glands. These are bulbourethral glands. And the secretions of these Cowper's glands or bulbourethral glands is alkaline fluid and it lubricates the urethra. Whenever sexual thoughts arise in human males, the urethra is lubricated. A colorless viscous fluid is released, that is nothing but the secretions of these Cowper's glands or bulbourethral glands. And this secretion, it acts as a flushing agent. It acts as a flushing agent for removing urinary residues, as it is a common duct or a sharing duct. This urethra is a sharing duct because it is a sharing duct both for reproductive system and urinary system. That's why in order to wash out, in order to flush out all the urinary residues, the bulbourethral secretion or Cowper's gland secretion, it flushes out all these urinary residues. This way it is helpful in making the vagina lubricated and also it is helpful in removing the urinary residues. Let us now move to the external genitalia. External genitalia, penis and the scrotum, it constitute the external genitalia. Let us discuss the penis. Penis, it serves to transport both urine and sperms, and it is an intromittent organ for transfer of sperms into the vagina. And a cross section of penis shows three columns of tissues. The dorsally there are two columns of tissues and ventrally it is only one column of tissue. Okay, the three columns are two dorsal corpora cavernosa and a ventral corpus spongiosum. A total of three columns of tissues are observed in the cross section of a penis. Scrotum, we have already discussed, it lodges the testicles. It is a sac-like structure. It is essential to maintain 2 to 2.5 degrees lesser temperature than the body temperature, which is an optimum medium or optimum temperature for spermatogenesis. Okay, now let us finish this topic. Nerve cells of testis are, what are the nerve cells of testis? Okay, Sertoli cells, follicular cells, primary spermatocytes, Leydig cells. What is the answer? Very good. Sertoli cells is the right answer. Okay, coming to the next question. Vasa afferentia from testis leads to the caput epididymis, the corpus epididymis, the cauda epididymis, and the rete testis. What is the answer? Very good. The caput epididymis is the right answer. Thank you for watching, and you can follow me on YouTube by simply typing Lakshmi Narayana Gunta.